Jamaicans for Justice and Wayne Lonesome sues the Jamaican government. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. Jamaicans for Justice, a human rights advocacy group, has launched legal action against the government for continuing to employ states of emergency without the necessary legislation in place to control the measures. And despite a new wave of SOEs being imposed in Clarendon and St. James, Michael Jackson, executive director of Jamaicans for Justice, stated on Tuesday that she has yet to see the regulations. She claims that the action violated people's right. Jamaicans for Justice to me is really an organization that is just filled with hot air. Their purpose is just to oppose for the sake of oppose, but with no solid solutions. You don't hear them when 8 people get murdered per day, but they want to tell the government how to govern and how to prevent crime. In the other suing case, entertainer, blogger, and record producer Wayne Brown, aka Wayne Lonesome, has filed a civil lawsuit in the Supreme Court against the Public Services Commission and the Police Services Commission. According to Brown, the time has come for the Commissioner of Police, Major General Anthony Anderson, to truly give an account of his stewardship of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Brown said the filing is on behalf of the Jamaican citizens and members of the diaspora. He is represented by Donovan Collins. In the lawsuit statement of fact, Brown's legal team alleges that their lives of Jamaicans have been negatively impacted by the high rates and perversiveness of crime, murders, and violence in Jamaica, and they have lost returns on investments made in business ventures in Jamaica as people are in fear of their lives and are hesitant to do business in Jamaica. He also pointed to the fact that in 2020 there were 1,323 murders on the island, making it, according to the Inside Crimes 2020 homicide report, the most violent country in Latin America and the Caribbean region, with the highest homicide rate of 46.5 per 100,000 people. Brown believes that the ineffective crime-fighting measures of the state of emergency and the high crime statistics are a big burden on the Jamaican populace. A new state of emergency went into effect last night and will last for 14 days in St. James and Clarendon. And we're just going to bring you up to date on the statistics. The last 3 years are: in 2020, 1,323 persons were murdered in Jamaica. In 2021, 1,464 were murdered. And last year, 2022, 1,498 murders were committed. And the year has only entered the 3rd month, and already 233 persons get murdered up to March 11. You can probably add another 20 to that total as of today. Following the rejection of the most recent pay offer, the standoff between the Police Officers Association and the Ministry of Finance has continued. On Tuesday, the POA executive convened to discuss the offer. Police Officers Association Chairman, Senior Superintendent Wayne Cameron, stated that certain members would be at a disadvantage if they accept the terms of the offer. So, what is being offered is not acceptable. Go-slows and strikes are a normal part of Jamaica these days, as the government workers are not happy with the pittance which is being offered to them by the government. Scores of members of the Jamaica Teachers Association have opted to withdraw from the union after its delegates voted to accept the government's new compensation package. The JTA late on Sunday evening announced that 80% of its delegates, which is 629, voted to accept the government wage offer and 147 declined. Now, many teachers who feel they did not get the right compensation are leaving the union and saying that the delegates sold them out. Angry teachers took to one of their WhatsApp group to slam the decision to sign. Meanwhile, one government worker did his own protest. Firefighter Sergeant Leo Bennett, he climbed atop the highest point of the double-level halfway tree transport center in St. Andrew as a protest to the plight of his fellow co-workers and their poor pay and working conditions in Jamaica. Many people gathered to watch this daredevil of a man putting his life in danger to draw the attention to the poor working conditions of his colleagues. He said, "We have a system to work every day of our lives. It is terrible. What we're asking the management for is a work system where we can get some time off so we can get work-life balance." He said when there is fire and they get asbestos, which is cancer-causing, on their clothes, they have to take it home and put it in the same wash as their family members. Also, you can check Constant Spring Road. He said there are like 3 call centers and there are no fire hydrants next to them. God forbid if we get a fire at the call center, everyone will perish, warned Bennett. Bennett, who was suspended last year after staging a one-man protest over shift agreements, which he claimed were unfair. 6 other members were unjustly suspended for voicing their concern about safety as well. They are now receiving half pay. Bennett, who had stood shirtless atop the building, wearing a firefighter's safety helmet, waving a Jamaican flag with his right hand while holding a makeshift torch in the other. "Look at this Jamaican flag. I am insanely in love with Jamaica," he said. "I'm here to tell the Minister of Local Government, Desmond Mackenzie, to name the time, the date, and the place for my execution, and I will turn up," he said. "I'm not afraid." This man is not just a hero. He is one of Jamaica's national treasures. 5 men, including a St. Catherine wanted man, have been taken into custody following the siege of a firearm and several rounds of ammunition at Pear Tree Bottom Runaway Bay in St. Anne on Tuesday. Reports from the St. Anne's Bay Police are that about 5:35 a.m., a team of officers conducted a targeted operation in the area where several premises were searched. 23-year-old Kevin Fletcher, otherwise called Tippy, of Linston in St. Catherine, and who was featured on Jamaica's Constabulary Force Most Wanted Wednesday campaign, was allegedly found in possession of a 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 3 rounds. He was taken into custody along with 4 other suspects. The identities of the 4 other suspects are being withheld pending further investigations. And as the mayhem continues, police in Westmoreland are trying to determine why 2 gunmen opened fire at 3 people at Landilo in Sablamar in the parish on Monday night. Residents had to scamper for cover as the gunmen fired a barrage of bullets. The police said that when the shooting ended, 1 man was shot and injured, and other persons narrowly escaped being hurt. The incident reportedly occurred at about 9:30 p.m. The police said they were alerted, and an injured man was assisted to hospital where he was treated and admitted in stable condition. Police later reported that 19 spent casings were retrieved from the shooting scene after it was processed. No suspect has yet been identified in connection with that attack. Meanwhile, another policeman was shot. An inspector of police was reportedly shot yesterday afternoon in Sydenham area off Old Harbour Road in Spanish Town in St. Catherine. The senior cop managed to respond and shot one of the attackers, who is now in police custody. It is understood that the lawman was using an automated teller machine at the entrance of a plaza when he was attacked by 2 men who opened gunfire at him. The policeman managed to return fire and shot one of the attackers. However, he was only injured and both were taken to hospital for treatment, and the mayhem continues. Onto sports. Jamaica's Reggae Boys battled to a scrappy 0-0 draw with rivals Trinidad and Tobago in an international friendly at the National Stadium in Kingston on Tuesday night. Jamaica, looking to avenge a 1-0 loss to TNT in Montego Bay on Saturday, appeared lively throughout the game but seemed to still be trying to find fluency in communicating among teammates. Control and passing look much better, but Jamaica lacks finishers. They were just lucky that Trinidad did not score, or it would be another embarrassing loss. Meanwhile, the semi-finalists have been decided in the Jamaica Football Federation Tier 2 playoff after Saturday's final set of first round of games. Tuscany Warriors of Westmoreland, Brownstown of St. Anne, and Goshen of St. Elizabeth join Racing United of St. Catherine in the semi-final, which is set for this Saturday, with the winners advancing to the Tier 2 competition, which is due to start later on this month. And if you ever miss the news on this radio station, please go to YouTube and type in JAMAICAN Undiluted News. Listen, like, share, and please subscribe to keep it going. That's news and sports on your favorite radio station. My name is Mikey Bones. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I gone.